Shout out to Phenom Black, Miss Music Lover, Twan Burgundy, Silent Ace Media, man. Mindset of a young nigga with idle time. They say a devil's workshop is an idle mind. This hip-hop infiltrated by a wicked built industry. I'm representing for the underground. Independence, Fifth Amendment, freedom of speech, the revolution is pending. But it's cool cause you see we on a mission. Television off, this a viral petition. Man, and I hope you pay attention. The WM48, we keep it real.
Yo, what is up, everybody? You are listening to the Wisdom of 40 Acres podcast, and we're doing Luke Cage season 2 reviews. So let's get on into it. This is episode 3, Wig Out. It is directed by Mark Jobst. It is written by Matt Owens. So my first note here is there are so many fish references this season already. There's Piranha Jones. There is Misty at the bar, where she talks about fish and swimming upstream when she gets into a fight. Bushmaster is talking about fish, and they're actually talking about Piranha Jones, and he also orders some red snapper. The mascot for this episode is fish. And the theme for this episode actually, I think, is domestic violence. Claire shows up because Luke beat the shit out of Cockroach. I don't know how Luke thinks she works nurse magic, but he's kind of like, can you keep this on the hush hush? And can you wake him up? I still got questions. And Claire's like, nigga, his whole face broke. I can't.
But look, let's talk about this though. She was appalled, and that nigga really wanted that broke up.
Well, when we see him later on, he was that broke up.
Now, when we see him later on, he was fucked up. But she looked at him, she was like, he's concussed and probably a couple broken ribs. I'm like, hey, man, as a superhero, he could have did worse.
Well, he told him that apartment, it looked like he did do worse. Yeah, Claire's not really feeling this. So Claire calls for an ambulance. She's like, you got to get him an ambulance. And of course, they do that whole thing where because Luke went on a fucking rampage and almost killed him, that now the wife of Cockroach is all scared and the son is scared, even though the son was a fan of Luke Cage earlier.
I still don't think.
Until all the furniture got broken.
Yeah, she was fine till he did all the furniture. She was looking at payments. That's all she was looking at.
I'm still paying on that.
Also, did Claire, when she came in, did she administer any first aid to anybody?
No, she just looked at him and touched his chest.
No, because she came in, she opened like a pack up, like whoosh, I'm Claire, I'm a nurse, and did shit. After that,
he's broken.
Oh no, yeah. All she did, she just said, she made sure he wasn't dead, and then she said, okay, he's breathing.
I want to go back now. I want to go back and see if she ever does. I wonder if she ever does any type of nursing.
Well, no, she actually pops people's arms back into place and she wraps them up. But my thing is, Matt Murdock absolutely caught a worse ass whooping in the first season of Daredevil, and she completely healed him without needing to call an ambulance. I don't know why when she saw Cockroach, she was like, I don't know how to do this for black people though.
No, I was gonna say, even when Luke that wasn't Jessica Jones. Was that the one where he got shot by the shotgun?
And they figured out how to get it out?
Yeah.
Look.
No, not that one. Remember he was mad. It was Jessica Jones. He was mad at Jessica about the whole Reva thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jessica ended up shooting him. And he went to the hospital, and that's how Claire met him.
Yeah.
And she really didn't do. She just nursed him back to health, just put ice packs on him.
But Cockroach guy is concussed, has a few broken ribs, and she's like, I can't do this. Matt Murdock fell from a building, my nigga, and she brought him back to life.
Matt Murdock, the only power he had was senses. That nigga had regular human healing. He got his ass fucked up a lot.
And she would wrap him up and he'd be fine.
Back together multiple times.
He could go out and fight the next night. Cockroach was out of commission for 3 weeks and was suicidal.
She was like, he has a concussion. We have to go through the NFL protocol. I have to call everybody.
But he came in there with an arm brace on.
Man, that arm brace was fake though. That nigga took it off when he got home.
She was like, I have to call everybody. Even she called the EMT. The EMT was like, Luke Cage for mayor. You need to go out my sister boyfriend.
Yo, that shit. Yo, the nigga.
Look, EMTs were about to say shit. Like, no.
Bruh, the black commentary to Luke Cage this season from random niggas on the street is so fucking black. It is like, man, hey nigga, you need to handle this, all right? Because this some bullshit, Luke. And then they walk away. Like, nigga, I don't know you. You just gonna tell me to handle some shit? Hey, Luke, you need to clean up the streets, bruh. It's kind of dirty out here.
Remember later today they bring the little girl out. What you gonna do? I'm like, goddamn it,
I wrote her whole shit down because I was like, I feel like this is a dream sequence, but it's not. It's actually really happening. This is really happening on a Harlem stoop right now. This is how New York is.
But even Luke was like, damn, y'all, shit. Like, I'm trying.
I'm just trying to walk home. You realize they just had a whole gun battle for the next 4 hours? Claire's like, you can't flip a dead man.
Luke should have said, that's why I called you. I know I can't break his ass back to life.
So that's when we cut to Bushmaster. And Bushmaster's, of course, waking up between two bushes he's mastered. And
terrible.
I like that, sir.
What did I do?
Kudos to you.
What happened?
Kudos to you, sir.
Not two bushes.
I'm just talking.
That's right.
So he gets out of bed and he puts some pants on. He got fitted jammies. And he walks.
Everything is tailor-made on Bushmaster.
I know. I was gonna say that looked a little linen-like too.
He walks to the edge of the banister, and his homeboy Sheldon is like, "You want coffee?" He said, "Man, I had 2 cups already." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry."
He didn't lie.
And when he's talking, he's like, "They're kind of like, hey man, both of y'all can be, the Dons of Harlem. We really don't have to go after Mariah." And he's like, "Dundada, not plural. Can only be one king."
Yeah, because he was asking about Luke Cage then.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, who is this Luke Cage? And he was like, Luke Cage don't like Mariah either, so he ain't really on our radar.
That's right. It was like, you ain't got to worry, but he said Mariah got Harlem and Luke Cage got the heart. So, I can't have both of them split. I
can't rule like without the heart.
I need both. I need Harlem and I need the heart. I need the crown and the heart. I can't have it. He can't have it. Because then he'll become a foil that I got to deal with. They go ahead and they cut to Mariah and Tilda talking, and Tilda is playing on Cornell's keyboard in the office at Harlem Paradise. And this is where foreshadowing comes into play. I didn't notice it the first time, but I did the second time. When Mariah is talking to her, they're talking about how Tilda is saying that she got her piano skills from the Dillard, must have came from the Dillard side of the family, because Mariah says, I was never able to, play an instrument like that. You got the good genes or whatever. And Tilda's like, must have came from the Dillard side of the family. And Mariah says, no, those hands are pure Stokes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucked up. She knew what she was saying when she said that shit too.
Yeah. It has so much more significance later.
So fucked up. But okay, so when y'all,
also is that how musical creativity comes down? Like you take no lessons, and you just sit by and you can play. That's wonderful. She really looked at the judge like she had never took a lesson, something like that. She was like, "Oh, you play well." Like, yeah, I never played before. It's my first time ever seeing it. What is this instrument? I don't know. I started banging on it, and music came out. It's
pick it
wonderful.
Up and see what tune comes out. Is that a jazz flute? All right, so we cut to Misty and Cockroach have another running in, and he really says to her, "You only have to cop that scarf was." And I'm like, these arm jokes are really getting to me at this point.
This was shit when he ran to her after the supermarket.
No, because he got his, no, it's not possible because he got his ass whooped the night before, so she must have went to see his ass after he was healed.
Okay, so that might have been last episode. I just remember when she saw him while she was shopping, because she was like, that nigga out, and then I was like, why you just leave your groceries on the ground?
No, I think this is when she walked into his hospital and he was just sitting in there. He got his ass
and that nigga, he was sipping on ice chips, looking fucked up.
Because that heals all wounds, ice chips. What does that actually do in a hospital? If you got a broken arm and your ribs broke, what do ice chips do?
I guess maybe, I don't know.
That nigga mouth didn't work. That nigga face was fucked up.
They giving him ice chips, Twan. Explain.
You put them on your tongue, they melt, man. You get your water. You can't really get a lot of suction. You can't really lean back. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they told him not to. I don't know. I was gonna lie.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't lie for them.
But he did talk all the shit.
Well, you don't need. Yeah, he did.
He even fucked up. He talked all the shit.
He really did.
So we cut back to Luke and Claire, And they're not getting along, of course. And, you know, Claire says to him, I've seen you raw, but never brutal. And he says to her, sometimes brutal gets shit done, which he's accurate. It is Harlem, it's the streets, and it's New York. And this is when they're actually having a conversation at Pops, which Ron Cephas is like, whatever you did, man, just fucking say I'm sorry, because you probably was wrong anyway. And that's when him and Claire had this fight, and then she goes off.
Fine.
Huh? Oh, Bobby.
He said that she's fine.
I mean, he did. She is. He's right. He's accurate. So let's see. At this point, after Bushmaster done fucked Nigel up, now everybody looking for Nigel. Luke Cage looking for him. Shades is looking for him. And you see, Luke goes down into Jamaica, whatever part of Harlem or whatever, and he is looking for the Yardies, and that's when he runs up on Ingrid's spot, which is called Gwen's. And that's where Nancy and Ingrid and people hang out, Jamaican folk. And there's a card, of course, there's a bunch of dudes playing cards, and they ain't ordering no food or nothing. They just sitting there taking up a table, cracking jokes, and talking shit.
And the restaurant named after his mom?
Probably. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
After Bushmaster's mom.
Yeah, probably.
It is.
Luke walks in and he asks Ingrid, you know, if she knows if the Yardies, and she's like, no Yardies here, go talk to those guys at the table. He talks to the guys at the table, and they don't really like him after that whole "he's faster than Usain Bolt" shit. So they just cracking jokes.
I did not say that.
They carried his ass the whole time.
They did. Move your big guy, get blocked.
Those people,
and they carried him just like old dudes should, though. They never really look up from their dominoes. Like they were just playing and talking shit, and I loved it.
And he notices that a guy in the back gets up and leaves from the table, so he starts tailing this guy. And Shades finds Nigel when he goes to see Bushmaster to make the deal, because they can't make the deal with Arturo at this point because Shades fucked that up. Bushmaster's just sitting in the back of an abandoned warehouse with a couch and a table. And all I kept thinking was, who did they have bring the couch and the table back here to this warehouse? And these niggas just sit here in this empty fucking warehouse on a couch and a table, waiting to hand off some money. Like they need all of that. They could have just handed the fucking money off.
I feel like if you are an evil dude with henchmen, you just need to have a good warehouse on deck.
Yeah, they had a warehouse. They just ain't had nothing in it. Furniture will be here in 2 weeks. We just acquired this warehouse. It's not a lair yet. So don't worry. We'll be villainry enough in a couple episodes. But yeah, when he tosses the bag of money to him, well, there is a head in it. And all the heads in this movie look like zombie heads.
What head pun did he use? I can't remember now.
I didn't even hear it. Oh, Nigel had a big head.
He said Nigel had a big head, but he has to say like, I'm gonna find it later. It's gonna make me mad. But there was a lot of like head puns. I was like, that's a lot. We understand. You took the dude's head off. He's already seen the head, so we don't need to do it no more.
No, punch are dead. But yeah, so he gives them the money and he takes the money and he's like, we got the money we need to invest in this Piranha Jones thing. Now all we need to do.
Other part, how I turn that money in now? Like,
bro,
it's money with blood on it now. Like a lot of blood.
Don't ask
like,
these questions. Don't ask these
like,
questions.
Where do I go? I can't just roll to the bank.
Yeah, but it's zombie head blood.
With the literal blood money.
They're going to clean the money, dog. They're just going to clean the money off. Put it in the dryer, clean it off. You can do that. Don't ask me how. I'm not a gangster.
Just one.
Not a yardie boy or a stylist, so I can't help you. They'll spend it though, and they'll take that bloody money in New York. They cut back to Mariah Dillard for now. Her first initiative. It's kind of like a meet and greet event, and this is where Esperanza Spalding is beautifully singing in the background.
I mean,
and it is Mariah's Shirley Chisholm complex, Family First Always, which is a theme this season. Family First Always.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that foreshadowing. So in the previous episode, she hired this new girl named Billy. And that's when they kind of showed the juxtaposition between how she sucks these women in to use them to blackmail. So she's kind of like running a blackmail escort business. So she got that Mama Mabel in her.
That's also just like her grandmama.
Yeah, this is that Mabel. And this she takes a girl, I don't remember what the girl's original name was, but she names her Billy because you look like a Billy.
Stephanie, and then they called her Billy.
Yeah. She looks like a Billy now. And Billy, she is using to get incredulous pictures of Mark, who runs a company that is currently working on a merger.
Atreus
Plastics, right?
Black-owned plastics
company, which I found hilarious because later on they built something for someone, and all I kept thinking was, "But they're a plastics company." It'd be different if they was a steel company, but they weren't.
Hey man, you can do a lot with plastics.
Well, did it work?
Clearly not.
You could do a lot with plastics.
Did it work though?
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's it, exactly. That shit didn't work. Claire, unbeknownst to anybody who has asked her to do a goddamn thing, instead of going in and practicing some of her medical practice skills so she can save the next cockroach, she goes and she sees Luke's daddy. And she's basically trying to fill out this man to see if he's a good person, to see if Luke is exaggerating. Because, you know, what somebody did to you 25 years ago, you can fill them out 25 years later with no knowledge or anything. She's just really intruding at this point, and it's kind of annoying, but whatever. And this whole scene, I think, was just the writer trying to get off their chest that Rose had plenty of fucking room on that damn door in Titanic, and I completely agree.
Yeah, that little part, I was like, you know what?
Jack, I always thought that. Jack didn't have to die. They both could have sat on the door and fucked. Body heat, they would have been alive when the boat showed up. But she made Jack sit in the water talking about something, we'll be okay, Rose. Get the fuck out of here, dog. He dying right in front of you. Misty is feeling pathetic and sad and useless on one side of her body. So she goes to see Colleen for a training session.
Yeah.
And Colleen, I maybe I'm wrong, but I absolutely believe that this fucking fight scene that happens in this bar, Colleen set this whole shit up.
Cause you see how calm she was sitting back?
It wasn't just that. She was like, let's go have a drink. And I was like,
It made you feel like at the very least you knew this was a shady ass bar with shady ass people.
No, it was, you know what it was? The first time I saw it, I felt like she set it up and like what you just said, shady ass bar with shady people that like to grab women's vaginas for no reason. So that's what she took in there. But the second time I watched it, this dude knew who Misty was and had an issue with her because she busted dude's brother. Yeah. So that made me believe that Colleen put in a call to have this dude, to give this dude some information like Misty Knight will be at this bar at 2:45 p.m. in the afternoon. If you still got beef, come holler.
Or she just know she just know where criminals hang at.
Or she knew where this specific criminal hung out at.
I mean, but like Misty is somebody who's like, she's a prominent cop, so it could have been just the easy as, I'm gonna go to a bar where criminal hang out. It's a good chance one of them knows that woman.
Either way, I feel like Colleen set this shit up to show Misty that she's stronger than she thinks she is, which is fine. I don't care about that trope because it was an interesting fight to watch her do battle with one hand. The initial punch that she caught to the face where she kind of fell down like, I'm hopeless. And then she looked at Colleen and Colleen was like, well, you either gonna live or you gonna die, nigga, because I'm gonna keep drinking this beer. I'm not about to help you.
Yeah, that's how she was like, meh.
His punch ain't even that strong. You still awake. And dude's name was Morty. Misty proceeds to kind of whoop all their ass and she dodging pool sticks and broken bottles and think Colleen only fought like one dude.
Remember, I think in the beginning when Misty was, I guess so used to swinging, using her right arm, and then she realized like, oh wait, it's not there.
Yeah, that's why she got caught in the face when she tried to swing with her no arm, and she got punched in the face after that because she looked at her arm and then she looked at the guy like, damn dog, I forgot I ain't had no arm, and he punched her in the face. Mm-hmm. I thought that pause was interesting. They could have edited that better. They had to do it like that. She just looked dumbfoundedly confused at the arm won't there.
Yeah, I felt bad. I said, oh.
Mm-hmm. Luke Cage gets invited to a fight. I thought that was an interesting scene. It was like the show me what you got of fight scenes in this season. He shows up and Bushmaster just has like a buffet of assassins. There's the
high level of
they had the guy with the chains. Mm-hmm. They had people shooting random guns. Somebody threw a grenade. It looked like Anchorman. It really did look like Anchorman, like Rick just running through there with a grenade screaming, and somebody got hit with a trident.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, I stabbed a man in the heart. I saw that. Brick killed a guy. Did you throw a trident? Yeah, there were horses and a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident. Brick, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You should find yourself a safe house or a relative close by. Lay low for a while, because you're probably wanted for murder.
There was 2 little girls that came out with swords, looked like they'd been in Aladdin.
Baseball bats.
Yeah, there was baseball. Somebody had one of those, because, you know, everybody wants to be an MLB star. And after all of this, and Bushmaster's recording this whole thing. Like this whole ridiculous fight after he
what though?
Because he studies it later, so that he can master how Luke fights.
But he didn't really fight.
Yes, he did. He did. If you watch
later on, he did.
All right. I'm gonna this. Luke Cage don't. This dude is Bushmaster in itself is supposed to be skilled in capoeira, correct?
He is.
Which is, you know, weird because that's a Brazilian fighting match. But hey, do you want? But look, he's skilled in capoeira. You telling me that he's not he's watching this dude fight and he can tell like, okay, this is not like a fighter.
It doesn't matter. He's still studying. Everybody has a style, whether you have a pronounced style or not. And he's just watching the video like a playback tape, like sports teams do. He's watching it and he's studying it because when he fights Luke on the street later, he anticipates everything that Luke does because he studied how he fought. No matter how rugged it was, every turn that Luke makes, he's on the opposite side of it. That's why Luke can't hit his ass. It's not just because he knows capoeira. It's because he studied how to use it against Luke.
I don't give it that much.
That's exactly what he did, though. I mean, he went home and watched the tape, surrounded by a smoke circle, looking like Alchemist.
And I think it just wanted to because it looked cool while I'm breathing in all this.
Nigga, if you no
steroid shit.
Stand in and record that.
That's my enemy. And let me watch him flick a nigga head.
He did breathe that shit in like steroids.
Like
all of them attacks happened in their warehouse, and then Luke just left. Luke just like, I'm done.
At the most, he was trying. Let me see how. I thought he was doing it. Let me see how strong he really is, so I know how strong I got.
He was, but he was also tested. He's also used that to study the tape later.
Because again, Luke never used these are people he didn't have to fight, so he never really fought. They hit a person, smacked the person, bent the gun in half.
That's still how he fights. he fight like a nigga that can't fight.
It's like me studying a WWE person though. Like
you acting like people don't do this though, Twan. Twan, you acting like people don't study WWE wrestlers. Come on, bro. You know they do.
No.
You know they do. You know they do. You know they do. You know it's people like this studying old Hulk Hogan tapes. Stop it. Jackson Dillard was shot and killed by the Contras. Oh, this was the story of Tilda's father, supposedly Tilda's father.
Yeah.
His name was Jackson Dillard. He was in the medical profession. He and Mariah met at Howard. He was like in the PhD program or whatever. She was like a first year. And then he went off to some other country and he ended up getting shot by the Contras while he was over there doing medical help. And she met him on the quad and he was 8 years older than her and, you know, lovey-dovey, blah, 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 black love and shit.
Because this is what she was saying for the fundraiser.
Right. That was because then she just included Tilda. And Tilda was like, oh, I didn't realize you was going to call me out like this, but okay. I feel like you're using me now as a prop, which she was.
She was.
Mm-hmm. Shades and Mariah make out in front of the king and the queen mirror, the Basquiat. That happens a lot this season, so get used to it. We find out that Billy actually works for the Jamaicans. She works for Bushmaster. And when Claire, I want to play this. Like I want to play this argument. I want to talk about it first, and then actually I'm gonna play it first.
I'm still a hero.
Really? If beating your chest around town is what you need to call yourself a hero, then I question your understanding of the word. You're scaring me.
I'm a black man in a hoodie. People have always been afraid of me. Look, you never had anybody clutch a purse on an elevator, okay? Or follow you around the store, or cross the street when they see you coming, now have you?
I didn't need to leave my house to feel racism. Soy Afro-Cubana. I've got family members so filled with shame and self-hatred, they will deny each other to the grave. That's how deep it can run.
Baby, A black man only has two choices in this world. You can either lean into the fear and be the nigga that people already think you are, or you can play the big docile house cat with a smile.
That's like saying the only choice for a woman is hoe or housewife.
You don't get to pick and choose the parts of me that you like and dislike, baby. If you're down with me, you have to be down with all of me.
I am so down. You're blaming me? You're blaming your father?
Oh, no.
You're blaming Pops?
Don't talk about my father.
Okay, so there's a clip that y'all just heard, but between Twan and Deidre and me right now, the conversation between Luke Cage and Claire in the house before he punches the wall is one of the most cringe-worthy one-upper back and forth conversations I have ever heard.
Oh, you talking about the argument?
The whole I
was
have it harder than you comment. Like, you know in Deadpool, when Deadpool and his girl go back and forth, well, I lived in a closet. Well, my only home was a box. Well, I was molested by my uncles and clowns. And it's funny because they're trying to run up, they're doing like disaster one-upping or tragedy one-upping, like oppression. It's like the oppression Olympics or whatever that they're doing. That happens here.
But it was serious.
But it's bad because you're right, because they are serious.
I wrote Luke sounded real corny in this convo.
Very.
Like that's what I wrote, because I was just sitting there like, and throughout this entire season, some of the best scenes are when it's just two people.
Yes.
Like Luke and I can't think of the dude name from the barbershop.
Luke and DW?
No.
Oh, Bobby. Guy. You talking about Bobby? Luke and Bobby.
Yeah, Luke and Bobby when the Frankie Beverly and Maze song was just playing in the background. How they timed that shit up.
Yeah.
Bushmaster and his uncle.
Yeah.
Mariah and Tilda talking and stuff. Like, there were so many good scenes of two people just talking. You really finding something in it. And this was not one of them.
No, it's forced because it's like they hit every hot button Black Twitter topic that causes Black Twitter to shut the fuck down, because the dudes and the women on Black Twitter automatically draw a line in the sand between each other and start arguing and debating all day and bring it up. Well, women do this. Well, niggas do this. And it's just the fucking oppression wars. And he's like, I'm a black man in a hoodie in America and a something. And she's like, soy Afro-Cubana, I have it just as fucking hard. I wasn't accepted in my own home. And I was like, why are y'all having these conversations? When you're a black man, you got to act like this. When you're a nigga, you're always a nigga. It don't matter what day it is, you a nigga. And I was
only got two choices. I be the scared person they want, or I be the docile nigga. I'm like, what does that do with y'all argument? Yeah. Why y'all mad at each other?
And then he gets mad because she says, I went to see your father, which this was the absolute worst time for you to bring that up in this conversation. Y'all already fighting.
She never knows how to bring up his dad. She always brings it up in an argument.
She just forced it on him. I went to see your dad. You need to go talk to him. Here we go again. First of all, y'all don't even know what you both mad at each other about. Y'all both just oppression depressed. And then you bring up his father. He punches the wall and she relates that back to the abuse that she saw her parent, that she dealt with as a child when there was domestic violence in her home. And
I think that was the first time that Luke actually scared her too.
Right. No. And you're right. I felt for her. I did feel for her, but I also was like, yo, this escalated so fast.
Yeah. The setup didn't lead to the setup didn't give you that emotional payoff. Like, if they had just had a genuine talk about her feeling like he's going down a dark path and him feeling like this is something I have to do to get this and stuff like that. And then they had that part, and then she hit, you might think that anger is something, but I've seen the bad side of anger. Did she win there? You would have had all that emotional payoff. You'd have been like, oh shit, yeah. But when you had that like fake wokeness, in the front of it, it was like, this is dumb now.
It was just a lot. It escalated too fast. Their argument was all over the fucking place. I don't think the chemistry was right between them. It was just uncomfortable, but not in a way that was supposed to be uncomfortable. It was more uncomfortable, like, I don't know if I like this take. And she said something like, that hole you put in my wall, that was my childhood, and I'm supposed to feel something, but I'm also kind of like, yeah, but y'all started off arguing wrong. Like, both of y'all was just both of y'all was on the wrong foot coming into this conversation. So, and then she kicks him out. She's like, you can't be here. She says, I need the ocean, I need time, I need space, I need perspective, which is beautiful. It just wasn't rightly timed in this conversation. And he leaves. Like, he leaves. She kicks him out, and she's like, I need to go see my abuela and my mommy, and so Luke goes out and walks in the streets, and he's depressed. And of course, he ain't paying attention to shit. And DW just happens to be walking around with his digital SLR camera in Harlem at 12 o'clock at night. It ain't no thugs out here in the streets. And he is looking for Luke Cage using the Hero for Hire app, and so is Bushmaster. And Bushmaster sucker punches him in the face. He absolutely sucker punches him. And they get into a fight. And Bushmaster does a guile flash kick and knocks him the fuck out. And DW catches it on tape. And he says something like, Harlem is mine. Like, you said Harlem was yours, but this is my Harlem, or some shit like that. But he says it's in Jamaican. And he knocks him out. And that's the end of the episode.
That nigga hit that nigga with a guile flash kick.
He did. Straight up.
That shit was great.
It was a tall nigga flash kick too.
Tall, like, it was long. Yeah, it was a long reaching,
very long leg stretch. But yeah,
he hit that nigga from breastbone to like chin. Like,
he fucked him up. He fucked him up. So yeah, guys. All right, that is the full recap of episode 3. Wig out. We will holler at y'all next time. This has been the Where's My 40 Acres podcast. If you enjoyed this review and you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, thank you very much for subscribing. And we will be back with you for another spoiler cap next episode. And if you're on YouTube and you're listening, please subscribe to the page, because we got more of these to come for this season of Luke Cage season 2. And I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. We'll be back. Peace.